Let's see if I can. Okay.
Alrighty, welcome to Wednesday. I was not sure what day it is. Welcome to Wednesday. I am Bloodboy, and we are here with, as usual,
Storm. Trading by Storm.
yeah,
More
we practiced
specifically.
that many times. It did not go off as planned.
Oh man. Oh, the classics are in. Our favorites. We got Bloodish
We have
Army, Easy. What up, Easy? Sizz. It's all of our favorites, man. I'm telling you, these are the guys. The consistency.
I love it. All the best people are here. Let's get that chat up. Let's take a look at what's going on. What up, Storm? We're just here to discuss the virus that has hit crypto. Who?
Celebrity influencers or
That is one of them. That is definitely one of them. But I was talking more about MoneyPOX and the liquidity drain that has happened. And it's a bit of a pandemic in a lot of chains right now. We're seeing this spreading, making me a bit nervous over here for the moment. I think markets are a little bit nervous with MoneyPOX and how it's infecting crypto. What's your thoughts on this? You know?
I mean, you're kind of scaring me, dude. No, I MoneyPOX, dude, that's like the crypto virus right now, the crypto version of that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, honestly. I feel like um these like viruses, like these global pandemics, like they've just been thrown everywhere lately since COVID. It's almost like, I mean, I don't want to get too deep into conspiracies, but like kind of
No,
bold.
we definitely wait. We definitely should get very deep into conspiracies if needed.
We should
100% allowed. Like think about
we got to do like a conspiracy theories live stream because I could go down some rabbit holes, some crazy rabbit holes.
yeah, like for me, I wasn't sure about the vaccine, so I just got one arm vaccinated instead of two. But that's just my personal opinion on it. No, I actually was had to get it at one point for traveling to a trip. I couldn't get into Switzerland without it, but I
Yep.
was in Europe all through COVID, and I was getting jabbed in Italy every 3 days. And it's interesting. Some places they like stick a Q-tip into your brain, and other places they just like swab the outside of your nostril, and you know you're going to be good. But
Right.
uh, but monkeypox. I mean, this is pox and monkeys and animals infecting us, and then we have moneypox, which is there's an infection of money going on. Liquidity is getting killed by this money pox everywhere. But
Crazy.
is it real? Is it real? When you talk about conspiracies, Storm, is it real?
Yeah. Is it real? That's a great question. I mean, I think all of it's smoke and mirrors, man. Like I think, not even just the monkeypox, the whatever. It's smoke and mirrors. And yeah, I don't know. It's funny because like what I was gonna say too, how you said that you took the vaccine. I was just talking to my buddy actually the other day, and we were like almost arguing because I mentioned that like people were forced to take the vaccine, and his response was like, no one like forced you, they didn't like hold you down, but in a way they kind of did, like you were saying, you can't travel. A lot of people were getting fired from their jobs if they didn't take the vaccines and stuff. um it's crazy. It's crazy. It's like a secondary way to force someone to do something without strictly telling them you have to, like, without holding them down and putting in their arm. It's almost like a alternative way to do that. So I get kind of nervous with the whole monkeypox stuff because I just feel like I wonder what the government has up their sleeve, especially with elections. Like, could be bad juju. Who knows?
Yeah, it's always uh, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking trying to understand, like, is the government involved? Which switching over to moneypox, right? Oh, monkeypox. Let's take a look at what's going on with monkeypox before we discuss moneypox. We'll give you a quick non-scientific update on monkeypox. Don't take our advice, and most importantly, if you're in a room with a monkey, please seek immediate medical attention and listen to the zookeeper. Let's go ahead and share this. We'll talk about monkeypox real quick, and then we'll go ahead and talk about moneypox, how it's infecting global health. Can you see the screen?
Looks good.
Make sure. Yeah, I like how we have that shared over there. We're going to use the #1 trusted and zero issues with CNN that everybody agrees with all that they say everywhere. I wanted to go with a source that's unbiased. So 500 deaths in Africa, 17,000 monkeypox cases. It spreads from animals to people, touching, kissing, or sex. So that's good. I mean, no one in crypto is going to be infected if it involves touching, kissing, or sex.
Any intimate touching, I think anyone in crypto is good.
Yeah, so if you're in crypto right now, you're probably 100% safe from monkeypox. But moneypox is a little bit different over here. Moving over to moneypox. Share this tab instead. We're going to, can you see the coin market cap right now?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to talk about moneypox. Let's take a look at meme coins right now. I think one of the things that stands out to me most as just crazy in the last 30 days, we go through the year, even the moneypox virus, we see the bear market over here was really going until February, then March it starts to take off. Market cap was around 22 billion, volume at 1 billion. Bear market was a little bit lower, but it was pretty low. Wasn't doing that great. Then we shot up, absolutely shot up all the way to 70 billion in March. We also saw a lot more volume on chain, 8.2 billion. We had a little peak over here, 65 billion. I mean, these are good looking numbers, right? 10, 11 billion in volume. Things are moving. No moneypox going on. Then we come over here, 38 billion market cap in memes. Volume's down to 3 billion. So we've gone from 5 billion to 3 billion, 38 from almost 80 over here in March. Was it? I think it's almost 70. We've just chopped everything in half.
Yep.
And it's pretty crazy, honestly. What do you think about that?
So I'll tell you what. Well, last stream, obviously, we talked about that bull flag that was forming since we topped out in March. From a technical standpoint, when you have a bull flag forming, you want decreasing volume. So if we were to see like volume increasing as we were going down, that would scare me because that means seller interest is picking up, and yeah, that could be bearish. But when we move down in a bear flag formation and volume is dropping off, from a technical standpoint, that's super, super bullish. But the other thing, speaking of monkeypox and governments and institutions and stuff, it is funny because in the last week or so, I've seen so many tweets from like Whale Fud and those other big like updating Twitter accounts that like every couple days it's like JP Morgan just revealed that they haven't sold a single dollar of their Bitcoin. And there's like going down the list of like all the big institutions that have bought into the ETFs, or bought, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars of Bitcoin since we've been ranging. And because again, that ETH ETF happened like kind of right as we topped out. And so we've been ranging, people have been fearful and they've been selling all of their crypto to the institutions, right? That's pretty much what's been happening here. And so, with retail selling off and volume dying and institutions soaking up all of their money, right? Their liquidity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty clear sign what's going on here.
So you're saying we got it. We could see it over here, even with the volume and the market cap. You can almost see literally like a bull flag forming. It's sort of funny how that follows. But you're saying that the possible vaccine for monkeypox is not selling.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yep.
And you're saying that the big government and the ETFs, they're doing just that.
I think no, I think this is what it is. I think I think the government is leading you to believe that the vaccine is selling your bag, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't take that vaccine. Don't take
Oh,
the cure. They think, hey, the market's topped. World War III is going to happen. Sell your crypto, right? That's the cure. But I'm telling you right now, like it's so clear what's going on right now from a macro perspective. Like we're Bitcoin is being sold to institutions right now. No institution has sold a dollar of their Bitcoin, whether it's JP Morgan, BlackRock. They've all released kind of their Q1 and Q2 and whatever their holdings for cryptocurrencies. And none of them have sold, right? They've been buying since the ETF launched. They've been soaking up all of that liquidity from retail getting scared of like a war or monkeypox or whatever the deal is, right? And yeah, it's like that is the most like textbook bullish case scenario from a macro perspective, in my opinion. So
so they're not taking the vaccine of what they're calling sell and everything's done.
yep,
They're unvaccinated. They're just
they're
holding.
unvaxxed. They're unvaxxed. They're
Unvaxxed.
holding, and they're telling us to vax and sell our bags. That's exactly what's going on.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Um,
groundbreaking.
does that qualify as conspiracy or is
Definitely,
this just
that's
common
crypto
sense?
conspiracy. No, that's crypto
We
conspiracy right there for sure.
we got cryptospiracies over here. Let's take a look at the general market real quick. Um, I go over here to like there's one that I really like to look at over here. Um, some charts which are cool. Sorry, it's loading really slow. I don't know why it loads so slow. Here, this is the one that we want to take a look at.
You looking at
Bitcoin
volume?
dominance.
Oh, Bitcoin
What?
dominant. Yeah, yeah, that's a good chart to pull up. I've actually been kind of charting that recently as well.
So we definitely see a drop over here in the market cap. We're going down a bit, even though more of that retail investor is coming in, or institutional investors are coming in.
Yep.
Um, and then we also taking a general look at how severe our MoneyPOX situation is. This is interesting over here. Like, I'll go. I don't need all. I don't need to know what Bitcoin dominance was in 2008. Um, we look at March, which was a really pretty strong for meme coins. Actually, people are getting greedy. Bitcoin dominance was at 53, Ethereum 17, Solana 2.28. Then we move over here to, we got 55. Ethereum's down a bit on its dominance, and Solana dominance is going up. So when you see Solana dominance going up with Bitcoin dominance, for me, that's sort of like fear, greed, and desperation. That's like full casino.
Totally, totally. And one thing on the, if you could chart the Bitcoin dominance chart, well, like if you could look at it, you can see that we're in kind of a downtrend on Bitcoin dominance since like the launch of Ethereum, and thus altcoins in general, which I think will continue to happen. I think like as cryptocurrency ages, the ecosystem will become more and more diverse, right? So not just Ethereum or XRP, like so many more new tokens are being launched and taking volume from Bitcoin. And actually, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it's on like a local uptrend into like a really big resistance area, which would be around like 60%. I think, in my opinion, if I was able to show my chart, like around 60% Bitcoin dominance is when I think we'll probably see an altcoin season, or at least altcoins encapsulate a higher percentage of the cryptocurrency market. Um, because it, like you can technically, like from a technical standpoint, chart Bitcoin dominance the same way you chart a regular chart. And so we've been pumping. Bitcoin dominance has been just like skyrocketing since October of 22, maybe end of the year, actually 2022, so December 2022. And it's due for a retracement, and if Bitcoin dominance retraces, that basically means that altcoin seasons or altcoins are encapsulating more of the market, which would be your altcoin season. So that's also exciting because it kind of lines up with that whole theory of like Bitcoin's getting very close to its all-time highs. And a lot of people, including me, I made a whole video on it about how when Bitcoin does break its all-time highs, we that kind of starts price discovery and altcoin season, etc. So that's kind of interesting to look at. Bitcoin dominance, I think, is really important to look at.
And it's dominating. Um, it just keeps getting stronger lately, which is why we see this, strong. There's always a stronger MoneyPOX infection in altcoins and meme coins when that dominance goes up. But it's really just, you're saying this is not so bad. This is getting ready to form a gigantic, insane bull flag and send us to Valhalla for the bull run of our lives.
Yeah. So, but the thing about Bitcoin dominance is Bitcoin dominance could absolutely tank, and that could be a really good thing, especially for us. Um, because just, I mean, I guess for the people who might not understand what Bitcoin dominance is, let me share my chart. Actually, I actually want to show something real quick because it'd be a lot easier if I can just kind of show what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing mine,
Okay.
and then you can go ahead. Let me turn your screen. Do you have your screen shared?
Yep, I do. Should be up there.
Okay, hold on. I gotta turn you on. Play producer real quick. A second.
There we go. So this is the
Um,
Bitcoin dominance chart, right, on TradingView. Um, so a couple of things. So I've had this level on my chart since for a long time, like months. I've had this level, which again is 60%. So a dominance chart is a little bit different than a regular chart because you're charting percentages, right? So right now, Bitcoin dominance is at 56.69%. What that basically means is Bitcoin encapsulates 56.69% of the entire cryptocurrency market, market capitalization, right? So when Bitcoin dominance goes up, that means Bitcoin is soaking up most of the liquidity in the cryptocurrency market. When Bitcoin dominance goes down, it means altcoins are taking more of the volume of the cryptocurrency market. So Bitcoin could be moving up while Bitcoin dominance is still moving down, which is exactly what would happen in alt season. This right here, this big drop off right here, this was altcoin season, right? So cryptocurrency was still
what year
bullish.
is that? What year is that over there where
It's
you're
like
showing?
2020, end of 2020, 2021. Um, So what this shows, right, when you get this massive fall off, this is what an altcoin season would look like, right? Because what this means is, let's say, just figuratively, let's say you have $1 million of total market cap volume, which it's much higher, obviously, but it's in the trillions. Let's say it's $1 million of cryptocurrency market cap total, right, with every coin combined. When this drops
Can we clip
off,
that? Can we clip that, by the way, Storm? We can use that as a little clip for our
yeah,
social media
totally.
platforms. Storm, $1 million market cap in cryptocurrencies.
Storm says cryptocurrency market cap at 1 million. No, yeah,
I'm
so
kidding.
so really what we want, right? The reason I'm saying we want this resistance to be hit, we've seen since the bull run, Bitcoin has been on like a rampage in the dominance chart, meaning Bitcoin is pumped, but altcoins haven't really performed as well. So when I say we haven't had an altcoin season, we haven't had an altcoin season because even if alts or meme coins have done decently, they still have not in this entire bull run outperformed Bitcoin. So if we get an altcoin season, what we would see, right, is like, let's say Bitcoin gets into this resistance I was talking about, we'd see Bitcoin dominance do something like this, which again isn't bad for cryptocurrencies as a whole. It just means altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. So, yeah, so it's like seeing this like massive move up right here is awesome to me because inevitably, right, it's going to come down. Like we were talking about gravity, right? Whatever comes up, it's going to come down at some point. And when it does come down, altcoins are going to be outperforming Bitcoin and soak up much more volume liquidity, which again will probably go to meme coins. So um, this is really important. Yeah, I think Bitcoin dominance is important to understand, important to chart, important to follow. But yeah, pretty bullish for altcoins from a technical charting perspective for me.
So while we are being told by institutions and the government that everything's going bad, that monkeypox has infected us, that the symptoms are everywhere, you're telling us it's a false flag narrative, and that once Bitcoin dominance goes down, monkeypox will disappear without the selling vaccine?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Okay.
And the people who sold and took that MoneyPOX vaccine are gonna get they're gonna get heart failure, just like they did with COVID. I mean, this is the thing. If you're
Bad
selling right
tickers.
now,
Bad
yeah,
tickers from selling.
nah, for real. Tickers. Yeah, your heart's gonna become a bad ticker, 100%. But yeah, if you're selling right now, like you're selling into institutional hands, and that's not like speculation. That is a fact. Like when these companies are releasing their Q2 holdings, and BlackRock, JP Morgan, whatever, any large institution, all of them are coming out and saying, yeah, we haven't sold a dime. Like we're holding 100% of our cryptocurrency portfolio, which what does that tell you? Like since the ETF happened and since we've topped out, institutions have been soaking up the liquidity. So, whether it's them doing it purposely, like creating fear in the market, and you talk about market manipulation, potentially, right? Like they could be the ones behind some of that, which definitely does happen. But regardless, like you have to follow institutional money, right? That's why when you look at the market fear and greed index and it's an extreme fear and institutions are holding 100% of their bag, like that means retail is fearful, selling off all of their holdings, and institutions are holding strong. They're not fearful, clearly, because if they were fearful, they'd be selling off their positions. So, um, I don't know, man. It couldn't be more clear to me. Like I've been in the markets for a while, so I mean, to me, like that whole fear, the whole fear and the World War III stuff, it doesn't phase me. It doesn't scare me. Um, Same
Whoa,
thing as
whoa,
like
whoa. World War III, we talk about tomorrow. Today's conspiracy is monkeypox. I don't think we can cover monkeypox, and World War III in one setting.
we're gonna have to have another conspiracy theory stream, I guess. We're gonna have to do a part two of it.
Oh
But
man. So yeah, so they're not taking the selling vaccine, even though you think there's this monkeypox, and you're telling me that when you take the selling vaccine, you're making the government and the institutions richer.
it's
Sort of
exactly
like when
right.
you took the other vaccine, you'd make
Yep. sort of
Pfizer, richer.
sort of how like Pfizer just got rich by convincing us to take the exactly. This is a good allegory actually. I have to clip that. Money
This is pretty
box.
fun. Pfizer, if you want to sponsor us, this might not be the content you're looking for, but we are open to changing our opinions very quickly, depending on the sponsorship.
Yeah, that next stream's gonna be sponsored by Pfizer, and it's gonna be all pro vaccine.
Pro vaccine, pro fiat, sponsored by the United States Treasury and Pfizer.
JP Morgan, BlackRock. Yeah. I
Oh
mean, hey,
man,
I'll tell you right now, if we got approached by BlackRock and JP Morgan to sponsor our live streams, I don't
it's
know, guys.
over.
You might have to not trust us from then on out because I don't know. It's hard to turn down.
The best thing we can do is just warn you that if we have an official BlackRock sponsorship, do the opposite of what we're saying. That's the best thing we could tell you.
It's great advice. It's great advice.
Speaking of fear and greed, I'm gonna switch off yours. I like where the chart is going though, that resistance line there. Sort of we see that break and then we'll see the resistance line with that short squeeze we were talking about yesterday break. A lot of things are lining up nicely. So people do not take the selling vaccine.
Don't do it.
And that opinion can be changed for a large amount of money, Pfizer. Let's go, Mashir. Oh, did I turn you off? Oh, shit. Oh, no. I apologize for that technical difficulty. That is called Bloodboy dominance over Storm. Let's share. Let's take a look at the fear and greed index right now. Let's see if this comes on. Can you see?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Fear and greed. Two very interesting things where people seem to sell fear, people seem to buy greed, and that equals one thing, wrecked. So in March is good. Um, extreme greed. As a capitalist, that is where I want to see the world. Extreme greed. Everything's pumping. It seems good. Bull run's going to be coming. Then all of a sudden, we start hearing about this MoneyPOX, liquidity issues, market crashes, liquidity events. Okay, looks okay for a little bit. And then you see where you have this is the liquidation event. We covered a little bit, but we're right back down to neutral, low neutral, I would say. We got less liquidity in the smaller caps because Bitcoin's just dominating right now, as we can see by the chart next to it. We got a lot more fear. People aren't sure what way the market's going to be going. They're not really buying much. A lot of people are even taking the selling vaccine, sadly. And that's not going to end well for any ticker. For people, if you're just warning you, no conspiracy. If you take the selling vaccine, your ticker is going to hurt. But it's such a good allegory, such a good analogy. But if you use this opportunity to buy in these markets, you do the opposite. Healthy tickers are coming. Healthy tickers are coming. That dominance is going to change, as Storm was talking about. You're going to see altcoin season start. Meme coin season is going to be there. And while everybody's struggling to breathe because they took that vaccine, you're going to be light years ahead. You are going to be way ahead of everybody because you are going to have healthy tickers. You're going to have more tokens. You're going to be ahead of that game. And even though it looks bad right now, I'd say we call it over here. I think MoneyPOX is government and big institutions trying to take our money again. Do not take the selling vaccine, fam.
Yep. I could not agree more. Couldn't agree more. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I think we have some interesting times coming up the next year, just because we have things like there's huge fundamental news events, whether it's the elections, and so on and so forth, World War III, like, all those sort of things can definitely affect the psychology of the market. But I guess the piece of advice I'd give a lot of people is like, don't trade off market psychology where you're following news events and like, oh, everyone's bearish and this big influencer is saying that he's selling his bag and it's going to zero, so I'm going to follow and sell my bag. Like, look at the macro perspective of everything. And from a macro perspective, we're a year and a half into a 3 to 4 year cycle. And so regardless of the chop, regardless of the retracement that happens in between that 3 to 4 year time period, um, we're going to go from point A to point B, right? In my opinion, like, we're inevitably going to finish the cycle out regardless of World War III. Like, you look at the COVID in 2020, that was in like the beginning of a bull run, right? And it caused like maybe a month or so of chop and like a whatever 20% retracement. I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass right now, but some sort of small retracement, and then it continued up and it got to point B, amidst the COVID and the crazy fundamental news. So I
Whoa,
think
whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's stop over here for 1 second. 1 second. Let's just stop over here. You're telling me that the last bull run was also set off by a virus, that the world was going to end.
shit. So this is really MoneyPOX part two. This isn't even the
This
first
is
case.
no, we may have seen MoneyPOX already.
This is the second iteration. It's crazy.
Do we, so the question is, do we think the vaccine of selling is going to work this time when it clearly did not work the first time? Or do we just sell all of our bags and risk all of our tickers? This is a question.
It's a question. Yeah, it is a question. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm definitely not taking that vaccine. I'm holding. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, man, history repeats itself, and every bull run, the market finds ways to flood people out of their bags, whether it's COVID, whether it's monkeypox, whether it's, fuck, who knows? There's every bull run, there's multiple occasions where there's some, crazy event that gets people out of their bags, and then inevitably it always finishes its cycle. Every cycle in history is always completed itself in some sense. It's hit that 2 to 4 year time frame. I think each bull run also is going to get longer and longer too. That's just what happens when markets increase in volume. The bull runs tend to last longer. The bear markets tend to last longer. Price actions becomes less volatile, right? So we're seeing all those signs. So I think, yeah, regardless of what happens from point A to B, I think I'll sleep very soundly with the idea that I know we're going to finish higher than where we're at now, and the bull run will continue for another couple years, regardless of what happens in between that period. So that's my macro view on the market. That's my overall bias. I think, like I said, you don't want to be caught in that smoke and mirror news events. So, yeah, I don't know. It just seems so clear what's going on right now. And I made that whole post on how much liquidity is to the upside. It's like billions. It's like $5 billion worth of liquidity up at that last swing low and the all-time high, like just sitting there waiting to be taken. And the thing about markets is they hunt liquidity, right?
Explain how that liquidity is waiting. You take a
So
moment.
yeah, so when I say the liquidity is waiting there, that heat map I posted, or if you just search up a heat map in general, you see these like really dark lines or yellow lines, right? That means there's tons of volume there. What that is that's people's stop losses, right? So they're aka liquidity points. So when most people trade, right? Even advanced people, but especially beginners, you enter a trade. Let's say you enter a short, you're going to put your stop loss or your invalidation point based on market structure, which is like the previous high or the previous low, if it's a long, right? And so that liquidity, right, when price breaches that, it instantly stops out billions of dollars of positions, which, like you said last time, when you're stopped out of a short position, a short contract, that means you have to buy back your position. So it doesn't just cancel your order. You're now having to buy back into the market to cancel out that contract, which basically in turn brings immediate billions of dollars of immediate volume to the upside, right? So, but with that being said, the reason institutions liquidity hunt and why markets follow liquidity is because big institutions need extra liquidity to get into the market. So it's not like me and you, right? Handling our $15.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
So
whoa, whoa.
well,
Let's
maybe,
stop over
maybe,
here.
maybe you have a couple $1 billion portfolio. I don't know. I
I
guess we
I
don't know
could
each other
have a
very well.
$1 trillion portfolio, but honestly, my wallet looks like a black hole right now with
Too.
this week's
Telling
market.
me. You're telling me.
Uh,
But
so
yeah.
I'm down
So
below the trillion line lately. I'm just going to be honest here. My
you
wallet is worth less
dropped
than a trillion.
got back into the billions. I feel bad for you, man.
It's possibly even worse than the billions. I'll be honest with you. It could have dipped below the $1 billion mark. You know, it's been rough. It's been rough.
That's
It's
rough.
gone from
Tough
black
times, man.
rock to black wrecked. That's
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like institutions like BlackRock, right? They're handling billions of dollars of liquidity. So their position sizes are hundreds of millions of dollars at one time. Even $1 billion at one point, right? So it's not like me and you where
yeah.
you can just throw in, a single order, buy and then sell. Like you need liquidity to fill your positions. So for institutions, they push price to be able to stop people out, aka get that liquidity. So if I'm BlackRock and I'm looking to, enter a $1 billion long on Bitcoin, or they're not really derivative trading, but to buy $1 billion off of the market, you need like what just happened, that record liquidity run that we just had 3 days ago. That was kind of the low of that channel, and in my opinion, maybe the low of this entire leg. You need that liquidity, that billions of dollars that got flushed out of the market to buy into your position. So, yeah. So on the same side of that, because we have so much liquidity to the upside, price is going to be pushed to that liquidity. It's going to be pushed to where is going to wreck the most people and help institutions get into their positions. So
So you're saying that right around the corner, there's possibly an all-natural cure, not involving putting an onion on the bottom of your feet when you sleep, but a giant rush of liquidity from a short squeeze that we're going to see set off this entire bull run without the necessity of the selling vaccine and wrecking your tickers.
that sounds about right. Sounds about right.
I like it. I like what
Yep.
I'm hearing. It sounds
Yep.
it sounds really good to me as well. What else is new over here in the market? I know we're having some fun. If anybody has any questions about stuff, feel free to ask. We are not going to be looking at the Gari network today, although we do have a comment.
Yeah, that tends to be, man. Gari must be hot, man. It's like every stream we throw it up there, Gari's in there somewhere. Couldn't be a
Yeah,
bot.
we cannot be bought. Well, we can, but we haven't discussed that price yet or figured it out. It depends.
Uh-huh.
No, but overall, like, how you feeling about the markets?
Feeling great, like I think like I said, I consider myself more of a veteran in this market. There's people, been trading much longer than me, but I feel like I've gotten over that hump of being a novice or intermediate trader where I'm affected by the market sentiment or by some big influencer with 100,000 followers saying that we're going to crash. Like to me, I have a very clear vision of how I view the macro perspective of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market in general. And regardless of whatever news event comes out or whatever anybody else is saying, I trust my analysis and I know I'm a high percentage trader. And so I feel great about it. I think everything is like you have all of the recipes for a massive short squeeze. And that's what I'm putting my money on. That's what I'm betting on. And I could be wrong. Like the best traders in the world are wrong all the time, but I play percentages and my experience, and my experience is telling me that we're going higher very soon. So
That's what I feel also. I feel like, the pinch that we're about to feel is going to be a short squeeze. The pinch you don't want to feel is squeeze of a selling vaccine, getting rid of tokens right before this bull run. We had someone come into our chat yesterday, our Telegram, let us know that they had lost some money. Fortunately, the refund department in crypto is closed. Everybody's down a little bit. I don't think it really works that way. But you don't win and you don't lose until you sell your position. So I think the question is like, are you going to sell into fear? Are you going to sell when there's fear in the market? Are you going to take that vaccine that they're pushing on you so they can take your money? Or are you going to hold and realize that right around the corner, literally, there's a national or a worldwide pandemic. The last time we set off, it's sort of ironic that it's happening again. Are you going to look at the last run and say, hey, all of these things happened. Maybe I should hang on just for a little bit. And maybe it'd be better if I sold when it was higher. I don't want to give financial advice over here, but correct me if I'm wrong. It's always better to sell when it's higher, right?
Yep, I would say so. And that's the thing. Like I've said this many times. Um, FUD is always going to be the worst. Fear and uncertainty. It's going to be the worst when we're at the bottom, right? So, and then on the flip side of that, when we're super euphoric, like max euphoria is always going to be at the top, right? So if we have all this FUD and this fear, right, you got to start thinking the bottom's coming or it's in, right? FUD is never going to be super high at the top. Like, why would it? Why would you be bearish when we're at all time highs? So yeah, like you said, buy the blood. I think that's a great saying. And like I said, I base a lot of my analysis on that. I buy the blood all the time. I mean, majority of my trades are buying the blood and counter trading what general market sentiment is telling me. So
100% when the markets are bloody, buy the blood. Right now, the markets are bloody. You have fear. You have global pandemics. We have MoneyPOX. We have monkeypox. You should be buying. Don't be scared to get out there. Don't wear a mask on your portfolio. Go ahead and buy, hold your tokens. All of it's just going to be transferred over to the institutions. If you don't, they're going to take all of that liquidity. That's what they're trying to do. The goal here is to help. We really do want to have fun, but we want to educate and help you see a little bit of a bigger perspective. Because if you look at the markets from it's like looking at the Bitcoin 1 second chart. I mean, yeah, some people might trade it, but you're probably going to do better if you zoom out. And when you zoom out, we're seeing all the same things that happened last bull cycle. We're seeing a pandemic. We're seeing Bitcoin dominance going up. Ethereum's going down. We did not have the Solana casino, I think, last time. That is a little bit of a wrinkle in time, but that's for another show. But we're seeing these levels are literally everything's just lining up for the short squeeze to provide liquidity for both institutions and us and bigger investors to come in. You're going to see Bitcoin dominance typically falls right after, and that liquidity goes down to the smaller chains, Ethereum, and that in turn goes down to meme coins as well. Alt season gets set off. The trick here is to understand that it's right around the corner. Don't ruin your tickers by selling. We want people to have healthy tickers for this bull run. We want people to be able to really, you bull and run. We have to be able to run. You can't run without a healthy ticker, right?
Yep. And life's about learning from the past, right? Not making the same mistake twice. And we've seen the same pattern before. So whether it's the conspiracy side of things or whether it's the markets, like history repeats itself. And so yeah, I think we're just getting that clear sign. But by the way, just to just to nod to the people in the comments too, if you guys have any questions, I know we've had quite a bit of comments, but they're not necessarily questions. But if you had questions, feel free to ask them to help us kind of figure out other topics if you guys are interested in them. By the way, shout out to Benanachi in the comment section. I wish this was spaces where we could get them up and speak. That'd be awesome if on these live streams we could have people like pull up audio and have like short form conversations would be cool.
It could be arranged. I think we have to know beforehand, though, with this. I don't think we can do it at the same time. I guess I could start a space. It'd be a little bit complicated to do the stream and the spaces. So we could start a spaces, show the spaces in the stream. I've done that before, but it's hard to coordinate it all at once. Um, and we have to make sure that they have not taken the selling vaccine before they come in the studio. We're actually an anti-vaccine studio. Instead of having to show proof of vaccination, we prefer to show proof of unvaccination here.
For real. Finn said, "Where did you get your hair done?" He must be talking to you, Bloodboy.
So I have a hairstylist, Hannah, that I normally go to, but with the way the markets are going, this is Supercuts. It's 100% Supercuts this week.
That's funny.
You know, and Storm, he's just wearing the classic baseball cap. You know, don't put money into haircuts, put money into crypto.
Yep, or hats. So then you don't have to do your hair. That's the key.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Or go bald.
I wasn't a hat guy until recently. Now I'm a big hat guy. I don't think I ever wore hats until like about a month or two ago, and then I think it's when I started streaming. It's just way more convenient. You just throw on a hat, or YouTube.
Yeah, I'm wearing a hat for the stream, but not. It doesn't show exactly for some reason. Obviously, this is my real life look. There's absolutely nothing that's different from how I look in real life. But yeah, I wear a hat a lot. It's a pretty convenient situation over there. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, we're happy to look at what's going on. But I feel like there's just this strange sentiment in the market. You know, I go on to Twitter. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you here. And people, if you do have kids around, you know, they can watch also, but they're probably not going to be interested. This is 100% safe for kids. just not interesting for them. But what do you think of the smallpox outbreak? How it affect the market?
So I mean, do you want to answer that, or do you want me to answer that?
I'll let you answer this one.
I don't think it will affect the market at all, and if it does, it'll probably do the opposite what you think it will. I mean, it's funny. Like I said, we can look back at history to a recent pandemic, right? COVID, which happened in 2020, and we could see how the chart acted, right? And that was like the most serious global pandemic in, most people's entire memory. I mean, I'm not super old, so I can't remember anything else, but
whoa. So you're telling us you're not over 120 years old?
No, exactly. Yeah, I unfortunately haven't lived through any other global pandemic before that. But I mean, I guess like influenza and whatever. But like this is the thing. I genuinely believe that news events don't move the market. At least they move the market, they bring volume, but they don't move it in the direction that you would think it would. Or there's no like correlation between like a bullish news event and price going up for an extended period of time and a bearish news event and price going down for an extended period of time. I think you can see like COVID, right? When COVID happened and the outbreak happened, you saw like a couple weeks to a month of kind of choppiness and decisiveness. But inevitably, what ended up happening is the market rebounded to the upside and continued its bull run for another year or two. So, in terms of like how will smallpox affect the market? I don't think it'll affect the market at all, to be honest with you.
Also, our by the way, our fact checkers, the team who you can find them over at justtrustmebro.com. says that it's actually monkeypox and not smallpox. So we do want to clarify, it's not smallpox. It is monkeypox. It is moneypox hitting small caps, but it is not smallpox. Um, but the
Good point.
block was asking, is that really a thing? It has been a thing in the past, smallpox, but this is moneypox and monkeypox currently.
Yeah, very different things. I get they got to be related somehow, right?
Absolutely no scientific understanding of either, really. I have not researched that yet. But by tomorrow, I should be able to write long form comments on everybody's Facebook posts about my 8 hours of scientific research and how I now know more than everybody in the entire world. And I will form strong opinions about everything. And I promise you, I can't be wrong. I've done about 8 hours of research through TikTok.
Bloodish asked also, what do you say about artificially lowering the inflation rate? So, in my opinion, like when people artificially lower the inflation rate, it's either for like an election, obviously, or it's for to save like some economic crash. But inevitably, if you're doing it artificially, it's going to rebound. It's going to correct itself to what is inherently correct, right? But that leads me into what I want to talk about, which is my theory on how if we do see a recession, which I actually believe there is a very strong economic bubble where we're going to see a very large economic recession, not just in the United States but around the whole world, which I'm not fearful of, and that's because of my outlook on how I think Bitcoin is going to be used. So, if you know anything about Bitcoin, right? People have been calling it digital gold since it was created, and I do think that's its major use case, right? I think Bitcoin is the
Pizza
gold
pizza
standard.
tokens, but not to
Yeah,
correct you, but I believe pizza tokens is the official
true.
nickname.
Unfortunate guy. Yeah, one unfortunate guy who loves pizza tokens, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, so like I think my the way I think about Bitcoin is it is digital gold. I think that's like the future of Bitcoin when it's widely adopted and it's becomes the future of finance. It is going to be digital gold. It's I think gold will still be a thing, but Bitcoin is going to be digital gold. It's going to be a digital form of gold, right? Because it has very similar use cases. If you know anything about gold, right? Gold is used as a hedge against inflation, right? So like when we are in a recession or in bad economic times, inflation is rising, gold usually performs very well, right? And so if we
Hmm.
do have a recession, which I think is coming, I think Bitcoin will start to see it not mirror the stock market and the economy, but actually decouple from it and become a hedge for large institutions. Because I think these large institutions, like JP Morgan, like BlackRock, they can very clearly see the economic bubble that's about to pop, right? They're forecasting this massive economic collapse, and so what they're doing is they're hedging their wealth in the new form of gold, which is digital gold, aka Bitcoin, right? So in my opinion, that's what I foresee Bitcoin being is literally digital gold, acting the same way as gold does in a recession, because I do think a recession is coming. I hate to say that, and yeah, I don't ever wish a recession upon anybody because the whole country suffers when a recession. But if that comes, I don't, because everyone is like they're trading Bitcoin based on the fact that they think the recession is coming, right? Because I think most people understand that now. Most people can read between the lines. And so people think, oh, the economy is going to crash. I'm going to sell my Bitcoin, right? Or World War three is coming. The economy is going to crash. I'm going to sell all my positions because everybody's going to. But I disagree with that. I think if a recession does happen, I think Bitcoin performs very well in the recession. And I think institutions know that. And that's why they're stockpiling Bitcoin right now. So,
I it's not going to make it as interesting, my response, but I agree with you. I see cryptocurrencies in three different categories, really. I see Bitcoin as a store of wealth. I don't really see it so much. And there's a whole interesting topic about the risks actually of Bitcoin only being a store of wealth and decentralizing and lowering their security protocols. There's those issues, but I see it as a store of wealth. Then you have utility with transactions or doing something like Ethereum or Chainlink and stuff. They're more they're more active on what they're doing, and then you have just transfers of value like meme coins like Pepe, Blood, Bobo, Dodo, and the 16 MoneyPOX tokens that have launched within the last 24 hours. Speaking of how does MoneyPOX affect the markets? Well, it did launch about 16 rugs, but
Right.
not anything else. So it's interesting because we're going to see this bull run, and then I think that it's going to dip. There's always a dip afterwards, and I think the institutions are going to scoop that up, and then in a year or two after, or maybe even sooner, but let's say a year or two after recession's really hitting, all of a sudden it starts to creep up. Peter Schiff is actually going to be buying Bitcoin at that point. That would be like really the signal that it is digital gold, although I think he could never um, do that. But yeah, I agree completely. I see it as a store of value, and it's even more deflationary than gold because I've watched Gold Rush on Discovery Channel. It's pretty interesting. But the point is there's a lot of gold out there. You can mine a lot more gold than you can mine Bitcoin at a lot
Exactly.
higher rate. The only thing that
Yep.
stops them from mining gold is the price of gold. If the price of gold is good, they can pull a shitload of it out.
Well, yes, correct. So 100%, it is a better deflationary asset than gold, not just because less Bitcoin is mined compared to gold, but also Bitcoin is the definition of a finite supply, right? So the thing about gold is one, it's not a finite supply because the earth produces gold at a very slow rate, albeit, but like the earth does produce gold, right? So gold is not, it's there's no finite supply of gold, right? It's being created by the earth, literally. Um, but yeah, I think it's a better deflationary asset class than gold, but it's also just it fits more in line with the trend of technology and the way in which I think our society is going. Again, I don't think gold will ever like just not be an asset. It'll still be around. But I think the future of stored wealth is digital gold, which there's no other better store of wealth than Bitcoin. And you're totally right. Like your point about like the altcoins all having specific purposes. I totally agree with that. And that's why I always say I think the cryptocurrency market needs to be diverse because Bitcoin is not a one-stop shop, right, for everything. It's a poor currency. Bitcoin um, is not supposed to be used as currency. It's not supposed to be like a debit card where you go up and you pay for a pizza in Bitcoin, although some people have infamously. Um, but right, you have things like Ethereum, XRP, whatever. All other altcoin cryptocurrencies are filling in the holes that Bitcoin has. I think Bitcoin's one big use case is it's a store of value and a hedge against inflation and bad economic times. And so, yeah, I that's my theory. I honestly I haven't heard a lot of people talk about how Bitcoin would be a hedge against inflation, but that's what I believe. That's how I see it. I think a lot of people are selling, anticipating the economic collapse, which I think is becoming very clear that we're going to have, especially in the United States. But my counter to that is if we get the economic collapse, I think Bitcoin thrives. I think that's the next leg of Bitcoin is it being adopted and accepted as this new form of stored value, similar to gold, but the digital version.
Yeah, I mean, I really love that. Stassi was saying about me doxing. Yes, this is the real me. Yes, my mother named me Bloodboy. Yes, my social security, which was leaked along with yours today. Um, no, I don't know what Bloodboy's social security number would be. I think it's 123AB. It's just my contract address. But yeah, I totally agree. And if you play it right, it's about, I think, getting money in the bull run from the higher risk assets, sort of pulling over to stables or cash or pizzas if you feel like that's a stable place to hold your money for a little bit. And then you move it over into Bitcoin, which the institutions, even though they're trying to say that we have a money virus going on, it's actually not. Don't take the selling vaccine. You can come out of this bull run a good amount of money and then reinvest that into Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin is used by the institutions as a deflationary measure, a hedge against inflation, a hedge against the recession, a good place to store your money where you're going to be making money and not losing, that could be a real winning strategy.
Totally.
But all signs point to don't take the selling vaccine.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. Yeah, all the recipes are there. So we'll see if it plays out. I'm very confident it will, though. I mean, I know both of us, like, we're holding those meme coins, a lot of money in them relatively. Um, I wouldn't have the position I do in some of those large meme coins, if I didn't believe what I was saying. So, yeah, like Blood said, don't take the vaccine.
You don't want to have an unhealthy ticker and then try to run in the bull run
Yeah, you don't want to
with
contaminate.
that cell vaccine.
You don't want to contaminate your blood bag with
I
that
mean,
cell.
I don't want to use the word pure blood because we all know that that has been taken out. That has been taken.
Yeah, nowadays that's not the best phrase, unfortunately.
Yeah, that one can easily go wrong. So we're gonna probably hold off on that term. But you do want to have healthy blood, and you do want to have a good ticker so that you can run, make that money, and then stack your chips, move it into stables. Don't do this one way. And when we tell you in a year from now that it's never going to go down, don't believe us either. Make sure you have a plan to scale out of your positions at some point and not round trip. And then you can take that money and invest it into deflationary Bitcoin and, run the same way that Larry Fink and BlackRock are doing. Really do yourself well. Bought the Block was talking about recessions. We have that inverted yield curve, which for those of us who do not have a subscription to Google, what that means is that you're getting more money from short-term debt than long-term debt. That's not really healthy for lending in any way. Doesn't really encourage anybody to want to hold longer term notes. Doesn't help us put liquidity into the general lending market. What we do see, though, is with all of the economic signs that are happening, inflation easing a little bit, unemployment going up, debt going higher, markets being crunched, hopefully we see the printers turn on, liquidity comes back into the markets, and all those things where you were told to sell and take that vaccine doesn't matter anymore because you can take your masks off. We can all run free and have fun. The printers are going to heat up. That's a temporary solution. The recession will have that, but there is going to be that recession. That's where we're looking for deflationary assets. Yes, Peter Schiff, we're calling you out. Deflationary assets like Bitcoin and gold, and gold's pretty cool, so nothing against it, are really going to hopefully get us through this recession. And if we see that sorry, no pun intended, um, that's going to be pretty massive for crypto in the way that it's being adopted, and the way that it's being stacked right now by these institutions. Pretty bullish, and you sort of have to look a little bit long term on all of these things.
Got to. No, you definitely have to. And I think specifically in the meme coin space, people are so impatient. And I've probably been a little too patient. I didn't know I was gonna have to be this patient, honestly, when I bought all those meme coins a year ago. But um, you know, we're still in a good position. Obviously, we're down quite a bit from the last top in March, but patience is the key to good investments. Not all investments, not all meme coins are good investments, but the ones that are,
Whoa, 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 whoa. Not all meme coins are good investments.
I mean, not all of them. Not all. I can't tell you specifically. I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
What about
Um,
monkeypox with hat? Easy was saying is actually a
okay, well
rug.
that's a good one. Other than that one, monkeypox with hat, great. That's a solid long-term investment for sure. That's got longevity to it. Other than monkeypox with hat, um, I mean,
What
it's
if they
just like
launched that and it went like past Doge and it was just launched based on a joke of our
dude,
live
I
stream?
would not be what was that one coin? I think it's still doing pretty well. It's that, like, church smoking fish church or whatever it's called. Just some, like, random ass some of the meme coins I see on deck screener just blows my mind. It's just but I mean, that's the thing is about meme coins is it's so intercoupled with, like, internet culture. So, like, literally a lot of the times the tickers that go do really well are the same, like, random sort of, like, degenerate, stupid shit that would go viral on, like, Twitter, you know? It's like that same culture, and that's why I think, like, if you got bought, like, an institutional trader into the meme coin space, they just get fucking wrecked because, like, the they don't I feel like to really you have to really understand internet culture, like 4chan culture, Reddit like, that's the stuff that you have to really understand to know what's gonna do well. But, yeah, like, it's crazy, like, some of the shit that's gone viral and that's done really well, it's just like, "What? How?" You know? But,
Well,
I
smoking
don't
fish church was a religion, I believe. So it's
yeah.
more of a religious movement
It
than
was a religious movement and a token at the same time.
yeah, it's interesting how you have to study culture to really get meme coins. We should definitely do a 4chan culture one because there's a lot of meme coins that started from 4chan. That could be a really fun one. We might get taken off air if we share our 4chan screens. I feel like there's a few trigger words there that
Definitely.
could immediately get us canceled. And after we lost our show on CBS and Good Morning America and moved to this smaller free speech platform, um, no, I think we literally would get canceled from like Twitch if we were showing 4chan. But I think it's also really important if for people to understand that culture, and maybe more of the success of meme coins. Yeah, there's some trading aspect. I mean, I always like to get TA on a $4,500 market cap. I think that's important to see if there's a bull flag forming with a liquidity pool of $16. But more importantly than that is the culture. And the culture is really what brings people in, brings that liquidity, brings that narrative. That'd be a fun one to do, Storm.
I totally agree. Yeah, you're totally right. It is the culture. It's the people that really move the tokens are, the people like my boy Sizz, Bloodish, Dodo Toshi, like those guys that are really part of the project that add to that culture and that environment of a token, I think is what gives it longevity. And so, you see a lot of tokens and projects that die out very quickly. Like it's like kind of like a fad. It's like a funny joke and then it's dead. But like there's other projects that like amidst the bear market of the meme coins, right, which we've kind of sustained through this Bitcoin chop the last couple months, there's still a lot of people that show up every day, right? Like legitimately shout out to people, like Sizz, Easy, right? Those are people who like in the bull market, I saw them every day, right? Rating stuff, reposting stuff in our chats, in our spaces. And then in the bear market, when we're down 80%, 75% on some of these meme tokens, they're still here. They've still showed up. Um, and like I said, those are the dudes who are going to make real money in this bull run. But those are also the dudes that keep projects like Bloodboy alive. And so there's people like that in all great tokens. Dodo, right? Bobo, like there's tons of tokens that have that to them. But yeah, so that's kind of what I look for in a token. Like, what's their community like? They get a little bit of chop when they're down 70%. Like yeah, the price is one thing, but what's the community like? Like, how does the community respond to that? So
Doing good. I mean, doing pretty good. Yeah, shout out to Sizz and all the team members who have been just grinding away. We did invert all of the charts 2 weeks ago, so they think we're up about 80%. That is something that they are not aware of. We did have them flip their screens over so that, but besides that, yes, they're very, very, no, it's true. The people who are active during these times, it really defines a culture. And I think that as odd as it is, yeah, it's fun to see buy bots going off constantly and money printing and all that fun, but I don't think you bring a community together without some challenges. Challenges bring people together, and you can either use this time to say, hey, this sucks, and go down on everything, or you can really build. And I think communities can come a lot closer together during this down, during this chop, during this snibu, during this bobo market, during the time where you should be buying the blood. I think that you can also use this time to get a deeper level of connection with the people around you, build a stronger community, and that community is going to be very profitable, especially in the meme coin world. Um, we, I don't know how close I've gotten to Larry Fink or Satoshi, to be honest with you. But if you do have the ability to get closer to them, I guess you possibly could also gain a uh, friends in struggle with Satoshi and Larry Fink during this chop in Bitcoin, but it's going to be more prevalent and it's going to help you out more in the meme coin world. Any closing thoughts over here? And shout out to Easy as well. So many people to shout out. I will give my Oscar speech tomorrow. I guess I could just do the football version of it. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, God. Touchdowns, touchdowns. Go sports.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, shout out for real. Like genuinely shout out to some of those dudes that I mentioned. There's so many. Obviously, those are just kind of the guys I saw in the chat. But yeah, I mean, not only does that keep the project alive, but it keeps, people like me and Bloodboy coming back and working for the project, for you guys and for the community. And yeah, I'm appreciative of it. Like that support system is really important. So especially in times like this where stuff's choppy, and there's a ton of fear in the market. So yeah, I'm again, another great stream. Appreciate everyone that tuned in as well. And yeah, we'll try to do these like daily, every other day. Just hop on here anytime there's some sort of news event or something to talk about. So we're not rambling. We'll be on here. So
Well, we also want to be full disclosure here. The attorneys have stepped in. We are absolutely going to ramble on almost every single show. We don't want you to think that you're going to come on shows that don't have rambling. No, we hopefully we'll do it a little bit earlier. Hopefully, we will have better news than MoneyPOX tomorrow. Although, remember, don't take the selling vaccine. Keep your tickers healthy so that you can run during the bull run. Thank you to you, Natoramon. And also shout out to all the Spaces hosts around here who every single day, Nobu, Saucy, Jules, David, all these people show up every single day to give a platform for people to come together to build this culture. We are all one large community. Shout out to everybody. Much love. And we also like to thank, that is the space we fill in for the sponsors that we don't have for today's sponsors. Store.
I wish we had sponsors, damn it. Yeah, if you want to sponsor us, guys, just let me know. Let
Yeah,
us
just
know.
we'll
Especially
set up a.
if you're Pfizer or BlackRock specifically, definitely sponsor us. We can help you out there.
Actually, if you are not Pfizer or BlackRock, um, please disregard that message. But if you are Pfizer or BlackRock, all opinions are for sale. Just put the commas in there. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Make sure to follow and turn on notifications so the next time we go live, and we'll try to go a little earlier tomorrow, you guys won't miss it. Storm, a pleasure as always. And we're going to end the stream by awkwardly staring at you while the stream has not ended. So just be prepared.
We gotta get better at that.